welcome again. Part 3. We've got most of the shape of the Citadel blocked out. Now we're going to make some houses. So first of all, I'm just going to zoom in on this a bit so we can. All the little houses have just got similar architectural theme. That they've got pillars, kind of long windows, a lot of balconies, things like that. So if I remember, I made about 12 different styles of house and then just duplicated it all over the place, just switched the angles and things, so you can see that some of these are the same. Although I've obviously done it pretty well because I can't. I'm struggling to find. Oh, here we go. So there's one here. That's the same as that one. That one is clearly the same as that one. You know what I mean? So I'll make a couple of little buildings, and then the rest of it I'll leave to you, using what you've learnt here, making these ones. So we shall, without further ado, get going. So Shift 8, Mesh, Cube, and I'm just gonna GZ it so we can see it, and press N to get this menu up, and we're gonna do it the size it was before, which was yeah, 10. Scale 10. N. I have frame selected in my menu. I believe it's going to be in view frame selected. Just a quick way of getting up close and personal. And I'm going to press 1 to go into front view, and excuse me, there's a whole bunch of ways of making these little block houses, and I always try and keep the polygons to absolute limit. And because this I tell you what, if I bring up the reference, we can see it while I'm talking about it. So yeah, a lot of these houses have rounded tops to the balconies. Not all of them, but some of them do. And to get rounded window holes, door holes with a square cube means you have to add at least 5 edge loops, I've found, which, you know, that's a lot. I don't think we need that many. So the way I would do it, plus they're far away, if it was real close, you know, real close up, then I would be paying more attention to how I do this detail. But because these are all dinky, you know, it doesn't matter. And the purpose of a scene that this complex is, you need to keep the memory down as much as you can. So this is how I do it. So let's say that I want this one, it's 10 meter by 10 meter. I'm gonna SZ and make like a long one with a few levels. And because the material we're going to be applying later for the bricks and stuff is going to be object UV based, I would now, when you finished scaling the main shape of an object, press Control A and then apply all transforms, which basically resets it. That is in my quick menu, and there's mine, but I put it in there. Okay, so we've applied all the transforms. Second thing to do, I would add a bevel, which just adds a couple more polygons on each side, and then I'd shift click that just to get a bit more. If you haven't applied the transforms and you add a bevel, it doesn't work properly, so you've got to apply your transforms first. Okay, and then I'm not gonna apply that, but I'm gonna turn it off in the viewport at least. So it was 10 meters, so I'm going to make another cube as a reference. Where is he? He's going to be down here somewhere, isn't he? Let's press S. Okay, he is down here. Where are you? He's miles down there. There we are. Okay, I'm also going to shift right click to put 3D cursor so that the next one that arrives doesn't have to be dragged down there. It's tiny. So let's make that 10 GX. Did I add a plane? I've added a circle. Weird. Okay. Anyway, right. Shift A, mesh, cube, and then 10. Okay, so that's one level. Yeah, I think we can split that into 3. I might make that a little bit bigger just by going into X-ray mode, so I know I'm selecting all 4 vertices. GZ, and because I've changed it again, I'm just going to apply all transforms. Click. Okay, so now I want to separate this. So if I tab into edit mode, press Ctrl R, I want 3 levels. Like that, I guess. Yeah. They're equal levels. Once you, if you loop cut with Ctrl R, once you click your left click once, you're set in the position. If you just instantly right click, it puts it in a median point between whatever vertices you're splitting up. Okay, so that'll do. And then what I'm going to do, because I'm going to have a couple of bits of decoration, so I'm going to Control R, loop cut there, and loop cut there. If you press G, obviously you're moving things. If you press GG, it will be constrained to the edges that are already there. And I made that a little bit too short, so I'm going to shift drag that there. Okay, couple of loops. Then I'm going to select polygons and double click that edge loop, double click that edge loop. Then E for extrude, and then S to scale that extrusion. Right, that is going to be bounding box center. No, individual origins for this one. And the reason being that this is going to scale from the center of these polygons and from the center of these polygons. If you had any others of these selected, like 3D cursor, it's going to scale both of them using the 3D cursor as its median point. So with individual origins, these should scale out nicely. Right, ES like this. And again, if you hadn't applied your transforms, this would also be weird. So it's good to get into the habit of applying transforms. Okay, so we've got excuse me, 3 levels. So let's say in middle level, let's put a window. So I would loop cut once, maybe a bit higher, GG, and loop cut again. And then I'd put one in the middle. And the way I'm going to do this is the cheapest way possible, which is likely, how many points am I going to need? Yeah, okay, so I'm going to loop cut over here and loop cut over here because I don't want the window to start right at the edge. And then I'm going to loop cut there and loop cut there because I want to take these 2 vertices and I'm going to press GG and drag them down that way. And as you can see, oh, forget that, Control Z, because this is going to be a tower. I'm going to want it on both sides, so I'm going to go into thingy mode, X-ray mode, press C for this cursor selection thing. What am I doing down here? Don't know. So now I know I've got the front ones and the back ones. Right click, get out of that, and then GZ. So I'm creating a very low poly curve. I mean, it's clearly a triangle. Get out of X-ray and press N because I want that gone. And then I didn't need to do that. I'm going to go back into X-ray and I'm going to select these polygons for this window that we've just made. And again, because I've pressed C, I'm in X-ray, we've got both. And if you extrude and then press SY, I'm basically saying extrude and scale to this point. So both of these, whichever way you're going to extrude, it needs to be towards a median point. So if I press ESY, or is it, hang on, which scale? I've got, yeah, Control Z, select them again, and press full stop, and we don't want individual origins, we want median point. And then ESY will extrude them both towards each other, as you can see, towards the median point. And that's too far. So SY, That'll do, is kind of window frame width, and then X vertices to get rid of them. Okay, so that's window 1. And now I'll show you how I would use less polygons excuse me, to make that look better. So first off, I'm going to shift right click, put the 3D cursor there, so when the cube comes in it's already there. And G, now let's have a look. So I'm going to create the top arch with this, with very little polygons. G, let's just put it there. Okay, so now I'm going to separate this, excuse me, Control R and then press 5 times, and 5 because then there's a central 1 and 2 on either side, which makes for a better curve. And then into vertex and X-ray, and we're going to drag all of these points, GZ, up to the middle there. And then we're going to drag these guys and these guys, and we're going to drag them up to there, maybe. About there, I suppose. And then these guys and these guys can go up there. I could rotate them, but don't need to. And then these boys, and this is going to take a little bit of fine tuning to get exactly right. Press tab, I'm going to scale it on the X so that those bits come in a little bit more. Actually, okay. Right, now it's just a case of pulling the points until we get a shape that I'm happy with. Actually, this is a useful tool. We don't need to do it on both sides. Right, so under X-ray mode, select the left-hand side of these vertices. Don't select the middle. Press X, vertices. And then in the modifiers, click mirror, like this. And if it doesn't turn up on the right side of whatever it is you're trying to mirror, if for some reason it ends up just there's nothing, it doesn't like that or something, what you can do is, obviously you need to pick the right axis. We're going along the x-axis, but you can select a mirror object. So in this instance it would be this, because this is central to that. So I would just, if it wasn't quite happening, press that and then select the tower, and then it will symmetrize properly. Right, so now we only need to move one off. So we can probably get away with dragging this down on the Z, and then GZ, maybe not too much of a curve, GZ, and GZ. Alright, and the reason I've left this gap here is because I'm going to loop cut and have the window frame come out. So because I've done that, I think I'm going to bring them up a little bit. And it's going to look a lot more curved in a second because we're going to add a subdivision surface. Alright. And then we want to, in X-ray mode still, press C. We want to select these. And then press EZ to extrude down. Excuse me. That, and then EX. And if you select clipping on the mirror modifier, then GX, they won't go further than that, and you see that they've met nicely. Okay, all right, and let's get out of that. So I mean, already it's better than that, which is obviously a triangle or a point, but even from the distance that we will be when we take the shot, even that's fine. You know, it looks curved a lot more than it would have done. But we can go even further if you so wish. But this is what I would do if I was going to have a bit more detail on this and I wanted it definitely curved. So if we add a subdivision modifier now, let's just apply the mirror modifier actually. So now it's both sides are a mesh. If we apply subdiv, it's going to look weird as hell. You know, it does that, and that's because that is, so when I turn the subdivision surface off, it's smoothing between these vertices and between these vertices, and it's smoothing them by adding one extra set of vertices. So because down here there is only this, it's going to curve between this vertex and that vertex around here. So it's basically going to curve this inward, which is why it becomes effectively a semi kind of circle. So we need to tell the geometry and the submodifier that there are some bits we don't want it to curve. We want this to be curved, but we don't want the frames to be curved. So there's a few ways, and you can see it working if you turn the subdivision on. And then we want a loop cut with Control R here, and then bring that right close to that there, and then another loop cut there. Drag that one to the right as well. And we do the same over here. We could have done this with the mirror modifier, but there are times when it's just quicker to do it on both sides. Alright. So now we can bump that up to 2. We got a curved mirror. A curved frame. And we haven't had to do, because imagine how many, we would have needed all these loop cuts. And this is the way I used to do it when I was first modelling. I'd cut it out of the building or use a boolean, which was a really bad idea. But this way, the geometry for this is still very simple. The geometry for that is still very simple, but it's got a subdiv, which you've got control of anyway. Because of the size, I don't think we need to go more than 1 in render or 1 in the viewport. It just gives it a bit of, a bit of rounding, all right? Excuse me. Oh God, we've been going for 16 minutes. Oh blimey, sorry. Okay, well we'll end that one there, and then we'll continue with this in the next one, and maybe that one will be 10 minutes. We'll see. But we went through a lot here, and it's necessary because we're going to be doing a lot of that throughout the remainder of this mammoth tutorial series. So I will see you in the next one. Bye bye.